I thought I knew what family meant. I thought blood was supposed to be thicker than water. I thought my parents would eventually accept my wife and daughter. I was wrong about all of it. The moment my mother called my 4-year-old daughter a mistake, something inside me shattered. And when my father threw Emma's coat into the mud that cold November night, I realized I had been protecting the wrong people all along. 5 days later, they would be begging me to answer 89 missed calls. But by then it was too late for apologies. Before I tell you how it all fell apart, let me know where you are watching from in the comments. And if you have ever dealt with toxic family drama, hit that like button and subscribe, because this story is about to show you what happens when a father finally says, "Enough is enough." My name is Salvador. I am 32 years old, and I work in construction management for a mid-sized firm in the suburbs. My wife Lily teaches preschool at a local elementary school. We live in a modest 3-bedroom house with a small backyard where our daughter Emma loves to chase butterflies in the summer. Nothing fancy, nothing glamorous, just a simple life built on love and respect. Emma is 4 years old now with curly brown hair that bounces when she runs, and a laugh that could light up the darkest room. Every morning she wakes me up by jumping on the bed, asking if we can have chocolate chip pancakes for breakfast. Most mornings I say yes, because how can you say no to that face? Our life is not perfect, but it is ours. We have enough to pay the bills, enough to take Emma to the park on weekends, enough to feel grateful every single day. Lily and I met 7 years ago at a community center fundraiser. She was volunteering at the bake sale, and I was helping set up tables. She smiled at me, and I forgot my own name for a solid 10 seconds. We dated for 2 years before I proposed. My parents were not thrilled. You see, my family is traditional in ways that can feel suffocating. My parents immigrated to the United States when I was 5 years old, working multiple jobs to give me and my younger sister Patricia a better life. I respect everything they sacrificed. But somewhere along the way, they held on to ideas about who I should marry, how I should live, what success should look like. Lily did not fit into that picture. She is white, comes from a working-class family, and does not speak Spanish. To my parents, that made her an outsider. When I told them I wanted to marry her, my mother cried. Not tears of joy, tears of disappointment. Still, we got married. A small ceremony with close friends and a few family members who actually showed up. My parents came, but they sat in the back with sour expressions. Patricia and her husband Diego sat in the front, but only because they had to. After Emma was born, I hoped things would change. Babies have a way of softening hearts right wrong. If anything, it got worse. Every time we visited my parents, the air felt heavy. My mother would hug Patricia's 2 kids like they were made of gold, but when Emma toddled over, she barely looked at her. My father never picked Emma up, never asked her questions, never played with her the way he did with Patricia's children. Lily noticed. I noticed. But I kept hoping it would get better. I kept telling myself they just needed more time. Patricia did not make it easier. She married Diego 5 years ago, and he works in finance. They live in a big house with a pool and drive expensive cars. My parents worship the ground they walk on. Every family gathering turned into a showcase of Patricia's perfect life, her perfect kids, her perfect husband. Meanwhile, Lily and I sat quietly in the corner watching our daughter be ignored. But the worst part was the subtle comments. My mother would say things like, "Oh, Lily, you do not know how to make our traditional dishes. Patricia learned so fast." Or my father would look at me and say, "You could have done so much more with your life, Salvador." I never responded. I just swallowed the insults and tried to keep the peace. Lily deserved better. Emma deserved better. I deserved better. But I was too afraid to admit it. Then came Thanksgiving. My mother called me 2 weeks before the holiday, her voice sweet as honey. "Salvador, you should come for Thanksgiving this year. Bring Lily and Emma. It will be nice to have the whole family together." I was suspicious, but Lily looked at me with hopeful eyes. "Maybe they are trying," she said. "Maybe this is their way of reaching out." I wanted to believe her, so I said yes. Lily spent days preparing a pumpkin pie using her grandmother's recipe. She wanted to contribute something to show my family that she cared. Emma was so excited she could barely sleep the night before. She wore a new dress my mother had sent her a month earlier, a rare gesture that made us think maybe things really were changing. As we drove to my parents' house that Thursday afternoon, I kept repeating to myself, maybe this year will be different. Maybe they will finally see what I see. A loving wife, a beautiful daughter, a family worth celebrating. I should have known better. We arrived at my parents' house just after noon. The large 2-story home was decorated with string lights and autumn wreaths, the kind of picture-perfect setup my mother loved. Patricia's car was already in the driveway, a sleek black SUV that probably cost more than I made in 6 months. I parked on the street and helped Emma out of her car seat. She clutched the handmade card she had drawn for her grandmother, a picture of our family holding hands under a rainbow. Lily carried the pumpkin pie carefully, her hands trembling slightly. I squeezed her shoulder. "We got this," I whispered. We walked up to the front door and I knocked. My mother opened it within seconds. Her face lit up when she saw Patricia and Diego already standing in the foyer with their 2 kids. She threw her arms around Patricia, kissing her cheeks repeatedly. "Oh, my beautiful daughter, you look wonderful. And the kids, look how big they have gotten." Diego received a warm hug too. My mother even complimented his suit. Then she turned to us. Her smile faded just a fraction, but I caught it. "Salvador, you made it." She nodded at Lily. "Lily." Her eyes flicked down to Emma. "Hello, child." That was it. No hug, no warmth, just a stiff acknowledgement. Emma held up her card. "I made this for you, Grandma." My mother took it without looking and placed it on the side table by the door underneath a stack of mail. "Thank you, dear." We stepped inside. The house smelled like roasted turkey and cinnamon. My father sat in his armchair in the living room, reading a newspaper. Patricia and Diego were already seated on the couch, their kids playing with toys my parents kept specifically for them. My father glanced up when we entered. "Salvador. Diego." He shook Diego's hand firmly. He gave me a brief nod. He did not even acknowledge Emma. Lily set the pie down on the kitchen counter. My mother was busy pulling dishes out of the oven, barking orders at Patricia to help set the table. Lily stood there awkwardly, unsure if she should offer assistance. "I can help if you need," Lily said softly. My mother waved her off. "We have it under control." Lily stepped back, her face flushing with embarrassment. Dinner was worse. My father sat at the head of the table, my mother at the other end. Patricia and Diego sat to his right with their kids. Lily, Emma, and I were seated on the left, farther from the center of attention. My father started the meal with a toast. "To family," he said, raising his glass. "To success and tradition." Everyone clinked glasses except us. We were not included in the toast. Throughout the meal, my father directed all his questions to Diego. "How is work going?" "Any new investments?" Diego answered proudly, talking about his latest financial ventures. My mother chimed in with praise. "You are so smart, Diego. Patricia is lucky to have you." Patricia beamed. My father then turned his attention to Patricia's kids. "And how is school? Are you both getting good grades?" The kids nodded enthusiastically. My father smiled. "No one asked me about work. No one asked Lily about her students. No one asked Emma how preschool was going." We sat there invisible. Emma picked at her food quietly, her earlier excitement completely deflated. I wanted to leave right then, but I held on. Maybe dessert would be better. After the main course, my mother brought out desserts. There was flan tres leches cake and other traditional treats she had spent days preparing. Then she noticed the pumpkin pie Lily had brought. She picked it up, inspecting it like it was some kind of science experiment. "This looks different from how we make it," she said, her tone dripping with judgment. Patricia laughed. "Did you follow a recipe from Pinterest?" Lily did not respond. Her face turned red. My mother set the pie aside and did not serve it. Instead, she cut slices of her own desserts and passed them around. I watched Lily blink back tears. After dinner, we moved to the living room. Patricia and Diego sat on the couch with my parents talking about vacation plans and their kids' private school applications. Emma sat on the floor in the corner playing quietly with a stuffed animal she had brought from home. I sat next to Lily on a chair near the window, my jaw clenched so tight it ached. Lily reached for my hand. "Let us just get through this," she whispered. "Then we can leave." But then I heard it. I was getting up to refill my water glass when I walked past the hallway. My mother, Patricia, and my father were standing there, speaking in low voices. They did not see me. I stopped just out of sight and listened. "I still cannot believe Salvador married her," my mother said. "Such a waste." Patricia laughed. "And now they have that child." Emma right. "Honestly, that kid was a mistake from the start." My father grunted in agreement. "He threw away his future. Could have married someone from our community, someone who understands us. Instead, he settled." My blood ran cold. I stood there frozen, my heart pounding in my chest. They called my daughter a mistake. My Emma, the little girl who drew pictures for them, who wanted nothing more than to be loved by her grandparents. They called her a mistake. I walked into the hallway. My voice came out low and shaking. "What did you just say about my daughter?" My mother jumped, her hand flying to her chest. "Salvador, you startled me." I repeated myself louder this time. "What did you just say about Emma?" Patricia rolled her eyes. "Oh, come on, we are just being honest. You know you settled." My father stepped forward. "Lower your voice. Do not embarrass us in our own house." I could not believe what I was hearing. I turned to Lily, who had appeared in the doorway with Emma in her arms. "We are leaving," I said. Lily nodded, tears streaming down her face. I went to grab our coats from the closet. My mother followed me. "You are really going to let her control you like this?" she hissed. "I am leaving because you just called my daughter a mistake," I said, my voice shaking with rage. My father appeared behind her. "We are your family, Salvador. You should be loyal to us, not some outsider." I grabbed Emma's coat and Lily's jacket. Patricia stepped in front of me, grabbing at Emma's coat. "You are being dramatic. We did not mean it like that." I pulled the coat away from her. "You meant every word." My father stepped closer, his face red. "If you walk out that door, do not come back." He reached out and snatched Emma's small pink coat from my hands. Before I could react, he opened the front door and threw it outside, straight into a muddy puddle on the walkway. The coat landed with a wet splat. Emma saw it happen. She started crying. Lily gasped. I stood there staring at my father. This man who raised me, this man who I had spent my whole life trying to make proud, he just threw my daughter's coat into the mud. I did not say another word. I walked outside, picked up the muddy coat, and carried it back inside just long enough to grab our other things. Then I took Lily's hand, held Emma close, and walked out the door. I did not look back. The drive home was silent except for Emma's quiet sniffles in the back seat. Lily stared out the window, tears rolling down her cheeks. I gripped the steering wheel so hard my knuckles turned white. When we got home, I carried Emma inside and helped her change into pajamas. She looked up at me with her big brown eyes. "Daddy, why did Grandpa throw my coat?" My heart broke. I knelt down and hugged her. "Because Grandpa made a mistake, sweetheart. Not you. Never you." After Emma fell asleep, Lily and I sat on the couch. She cried into my chest, and I held her, feeling like the biggest failure in the world. "I should have protected you both sooner," I said. Lily shook her head. "You did what you could. But what happens now, I did not have an answer. I just knew I could not let them hurt my family anymore." That night I blocked my parents' phone numbers. I blocked Patricia too. I was done. The next 2 days were quiet. I threw myself into work trying to distract myself from the anger boiling inside me. Lily focused on taking care of Emma, who seemed confused but resilient. On the third day, I got a call from an unknown number. I almost did not answer, but something told me to pick up. "Hello?" A woman's voice, panicked and breathless. "Salvador, this is Maria. I am friends with Patricia. You need to know something. Your father was in a car accident. He is in the hospital. It is bad." I felt like the ground had disappeared beneath me. "What when last night?" Maria said. "He was driving home from a business meeting. A truck ran a red light. He is in critical condition. Your mother and Patricia have been trying to reach you." I hung up. My hands were shaking. Lily came into the room. "What is wrong?" "My father is in the hospital," I said. "He might not make it." Lily grabbed my arm. "You have to go see him." I pulled away. After what they did, after they called Emma a mistake and threw her coat in the mud, Lily looked at me with sad eyes. "He is still your father, Salvador." I shook my head. "I need time to think." I sat down at the kitchen table, my mind racing. Part of me wanted to rush to the hospital. He was my father, after all. But another part of me, the part that watched Emma cry over her muddy coat, refused to move. I did not go that day. Or the next. On the 5th day, my phone exploded. I woke up to 89 missed calls. My mother, Patricia, numbers I did not recognize. Text messages flooded in. "Salvador, please, your father is asking for you. We are sorry, please come to the hospital. Please, God, answer us. He might not make it, you need to be here." Patricia sent a message that said I was wrong. "We were all wrong, please forgive us." My mother wrote, "I will do anything. Just please come." I stared at the messages. 89 missed calls. They were desperate now. But where was this desperation when Emma needed their love? Where was this urgency when Lily needed their respect? I showed the messages to Lily. She read them and looked at me. "What are you going to do?" "I'm going to the hospital," I said. "But not because they called. I am going because I need to say what I have to say." Lily nodded. "Do you want me to come with you?" I shook my head. "I need to do this alone." I got dressed, got in my car, and drove to the hospital. My heart pounded the entire way. When I arrived, I found my father's room on the 4th floor. My mother and Patricia were sitting in chairs outside, their faces pale and exhausted. When they saw me, they stood up like I was some kind of savior. "Salvador, thank God," my mother said, reaching for me. I stepped back. "I am not here because you called. I am here to say what I need to say." Patricia's face crumpled. "Please, we are so sorry. My father is asking for you. He needs you." I looked at her coldly. "Where were you when Emma needed a family? When Lily needed respect, I walked past them into the room. My father lay in the hospital bed, hooked up to machines, his face pale and sunken. He looked so small, so fragile. Nothing like the strong, stubborn man who threw my daughter's coat into the mud. His eyes opened when he heard me enter. "Son," he whispered. I stood at the foot of the bed. "You called my daughter a mistake. You threw her coat in the mud." My father tried to speak, but I held up my hand. My mother and Patricia rushed into the room. "Salvador, please." My mother begged. "We did not mean it. We were just upset." I turned to her. "You meant it. And that is why I am done." Patricia stepped forward. "Please, we need you. Dad needs you." I shook my head. "Where were you when Emma needed a family? When Lily needed to feel welcome?" My father struggled to speak. "Son," he rasped. I looked at him. "I am not your son anymore. I am Emma's father, and I will not let her grow up thinking she is a mistake." I took a deep breath. "If you want me in your life, you apologize to Emma and Lily, not to me, to them. And you mean it. Until that happens, do not call me, do not text me, do not show up at my house." I turned and walked out of the room. My mother called after me, but I did not stop. I walked down the hallway, got in my car, and drove home. I felt lighter than I had in years. 3 days later, my father stabilized. He was going to survive. My mother called again, but this time her voice was different, softer, humbler. Salvador, can we come see Emma? To apologize properly, I paused. You will have to earn that right. I understand, she said quietly. We will wait as long as it takes. 2 weeks passed before my mother reached out again. This time she and Patricia sent a handwritten letter addressed to Lily and Emma. In it, they apologized for their words, their actions, their coldness. They admitted they were wrong. They asked for a chance to make things right. I watched Lily read the letter, tears in her eyes. What do you think she asked? I shrugged. Actions speak louder than words. Let us see if they mean it. Over the next month, my mother and Patricia sent small gifts for Emma. Nothing extravagant, just thoughtful things. Books, stuffed animals, drawings. They did not demand a response. They did not guilt trip me. They just waited. I appreciated that. Eventually, I agreed to let them visit. 1 month after the hospital confrontation, my mother, my father, and Patricia came to our home. It was the first time they had ever stepped foot inside our modest house. My father was in a wheelchair, still recovering from his injuries. He looked older, weaker. But when Emma ran up to him, he smiled for the first time in what felt like forever. My mother knelt down and took Emma's hands. I am so sorry for what I said, sweetheart. You are not a mistake. You are a blessing. You make your daddy so happy, and that makes me happy too. Emma, ever the forgiving soul, hugged her. My father looked at Emma with tears in his eyes. Can you forgive Grandpa for being mean? Emma nodded. Okay, Grandpa. Patricia pulled me aside later. I owe you an apology too, Salvador. I was jealous. You have something real with Lily. My marriage is not what it looks like. Diego and I barely talk anymore. I envied what you had, and instead of being happy for you, I tore you down. I am sorry. I did not hug her, but I nodded. We will see. Time will tell if you mean it. I sat my family down and laid out clear rules. You will not speak poorly about Lily. You will not treat Emma differently than your other grandchildren. If you violate these rules, once you will not get a second chance. They all agreed, and to my surprise, they followed through. My mother started learning to cook dishes that Lily enjoyed. My father bought Emma toys and spent time reading to her when he visited. Patricia stopped comparing her kids to Emma. Slowly things improved, not back to how they were before, because that version of our relationship was built on me staying silent. This new version was built on respect. The holidays came and went. Thanksgiving the following year looked different. We hosted it at our house. My parents came along with Patricia and her family. Everyone brought something to share. My mother complimented Lily's cooking. My father played games with Emma. It was not perfect, but it was better. And for the first time in years, I did not feel the weight of their judgment pressing down on me. Now, 1.5 years later, I sit on my front porch watching Emma chase fireflies in the yard. Lily is inside making dinner. My parents call once a week to check in. Patricia and I are slowly rebuilding our relationship. Things are not perfect, and they never will be, but they are honest. And that is worth more than any fake harmony ever was. I learned something important through all of this. Blood does not excuse cruelty. Being a father means protecting your child, even from family. Real family is built on respect, not obligation. I do not regret walking away that night. I only regret not doing it sooner. Some people will call you dramatic for setting boundaries. Let them. In the end, you will sleep better knowing you stood up for the people you love. And that is worth more than any family approval could ever be. Emma runs up to me out of breath and laughing. Daddy, did you see how many I caught? I scoop her up and kiss her forehead. I saw baby. You are amazing. She giggles and runs back into the yard. I watch her and I smile. She will never doubt that she is loved. She will never question her worth, because I made sure of it. So let me ask you this. Have you ever had to choose between keeping the peace and protecting the people you love? Have you ever set boundaries with family and felt guilty about it? Drop a comment below and share your story. If this resonated with you, smash that like button and subscribe for more real-life stories about standing up for what is right. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, you are not obligated to accept disrespect just because someone shares your blood. Thank you for listening. I hope you find the courage to protect your peace just like I did. Take care of yourselves and take care of the people who truly matter.